so many people out there who's struggling with addiction, and they're like, okay, this person is going through this, and I'll ask you if you went through this. Do I leave when this person is struggling with this, or do I help them to get out of it and then I leave? Right? Like, what would you say to the person who's battling that, where they're like, okay, I don't want to leave this person while they're going through it, but I have to make a decision. Do I do I compromise myself for that person and then leave, or do I say, okay, you know what, enough's enough, and I step out? What's your thoughts?
So I think I'll give you my opinion, and I'll also say that it's very easy to because I remember when I was like hearing stories, and my husband did not cheat on me, by the way. Hearing stories of people cheating, and I'm like, why don't they just leave them? Like, I would never stay in that. And then you have your own separation, and it's really hard. It's awful. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I totally get why people stay with people. This is the thing. There is no hard and fast rule. I would say this is we cannot control another person. So somebody else's addiction is not your, I guess, I don't want to say problem to fix, is that you can't get somebody sober. They have to do it themselves. Addiction's hard. There's a lot of like some people lie a lot. It's just a hard disease. And there's different levels of it. So someone might not have like a true alcohol, like a severe alcohol addiction, but maybe it still bothers you that they're drinking. So I think you have to see what your boundaries are. My thing is being honest with somebody and telling them what you're experiencing. Um, you know, I'm feeling this way, this is what I'm thinking, and kind of getting their thoughts. If you're not sure if you want to leave someone, you can try therapy. At the end of the day, though, you have to make a decision. It, I think it's not an easy decision to make to leave somebody, especially if you've been together for a long time, you have children together. Like I literally like listen to a bunch of audibles on people separating and statistics on children, and because it was like really hard. And even though I'm the one that ended it, it's still hard. And so I think addiction and drinking, it's really challenging. I would suggest either getting help. There's like Al-Anon. There's other ways to also get support that like at the end of the day, you have to make the decision, but there's no wrong or right way to do it. But like I think sometimes people have to do it in increments where tell somebody maybe you need to go to therapy. Like you gave it your all. Like there's only so much you can do. A relationship's 50-50. If somebody, you know, again, not everybody has severe alcohol use disorder, but like you have to understand your boundaries and what makes you happy. And I know the whole kind of cliche, life is too short, but I can tell you this, like it is far more worse to be in a relationship that's not reciprocal, that's not healthy, than it is to leave somebody because again, they're both hard. It's just your future depends on which hard you prefer to take.
That's a difficult part of it, I think. You have people on the outside. Like on the outside, it's so easy to tell someone to leave, right? Like that's the solution for everything. You know what?
Hmm.
I'm in a relationship with Chrissy, and she looked at me the wrong way. Leave her, Terrain. Like we we just find it to be the end all and be all. But then when you get into it, you're like, okay, I invested in this person. I may have a child with this person. I have a house. I have finances connected. You have all these things connected. And really, I tell this because I work with women who are at risk, who have been either financially abused, physically abused, and so on. I tell them that, and this goes for anyone, men and women, when you look in the mirror, ask yourself this question: did I try my best? Did I give enough effort? Whereas if I was the one who was asking for effort, I would be happy with the effort that I gave. If you can answer yes to that, then by all means, you can leave. Right. But I think sometimes people make the rash decisions. They're like, you know what, I can't deal with this. And that's fine if it's a deal breaker. But sometimes the situation is made worse by the outside voices of people, of friends, right? Is that something that you went through where, as you were, because I know, let me ask it a different way. I know some people who have gone through who've gone through their battle with this, and people who have no idea what's going on, either in your life, your family's life, or your marital life, they seem to pass judgment, and that judgment sometimes is that like voice in our ear, which
Hmm.
is making the situation worse. Did you have that voice in your ear? And if so, how did it affect you?
So, before I answer that, I do want to go back to is sometimes, again, there's no right or wrong. Unless, I mean, if someone's getting, I do think like I'm a social worker, so I do think that there's a safety thing, right? Like, there's always like sometimes people are just really not good people, and they're not. I think when it comes to a like if somebody's truly they have addiction, they're in shame, they don't want to admit it, they will do things to you too. So I think, are you being gaslit? Like getting more information, and also turning into your intuitive body. Like sometimes we want something so bad or we don't want something so bad, we ignore the signals. And at the end of the day, no one can answer the question of whether you should leave somebody. But something I did, I wrote down all the things I would want in a partner because I'm telling you, you change when you stop drinking. You just do. And also, no one should shame you for changing. You were meant to grow. I wrote all the things down that like I'd want in a partner. And then I compared it to my current partner. And I'm like, hmm, it's interesting. They don't have a lot of these traits that I'm really, really like and I want in a partner. So I think sometimes we can ignore the things that we really need. And it's not that this person is necessarily bad or good. All, maybe they're not a great person. I don't really know. I can't answer that question. But it's not that they're good or bad. It's like, are they making you happy? And I think those are the better questions to ask yourself.